The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I'm at the bridge right now, the famous bridge near my house. It's a beautiful bridge. It got like water and all kinds of ducks, and it's good to come out here and just relax. And I find myself very relaxed and at peace when I come out here. So it's a great time to talk about boxing whenever I'm on this bridge. But I wanted to talk about El Boricua, Felix Verdejo. Felix Verdejo, it just came out recently that his next fight is announced. And I was hearing, it's funny because I was hearing a lot of stuff from boxing fans. They were saying like, oh, he's fighting Richard Comey, and that was cool. But this fight right here, in my opinion, is just as good because it's going to answer some serious questions about Verdejo and the landscape of what's going on at 135. So you got, for those of you who don't know, as you can see by the title, it's been reported that Felix Verdejo will be fighting former Teofimo Lopez opponent, Masayoshi Nakatani. I think I'm saying, I don't know if I'm butchering his first name, but Nakatani, the tall, lanky Japanese fighter that Teofimo Lopez got a serious test against before he fought Richard Comey. You know, the same Nakatani that many people who don't like Teofimo Lopez say exposed Teofimo Lopez. You see what I'm saying? He gave Teofimo a very good fight. I think he won like 3 or 4 rounds, and he was very much in the fight. He was very much giving him problems with the range, with the size, you know, and he's got he's got some good boxing skills, Nakatani. Now he's fighting a guy in Verdejo. Let's talk about Felix Verdejo. This is a guy. If we could rewind back time, and I talk about this a lot when I talk about Verdejo, but I have to always paint the picture about his career because I feel like since he's lost, there's been such a bad picture painted about his career. 2015, this guy was he was creme de la creme. He was the prospect of the one of the best prospects in boxing. He was looked at to be what Edgar Berlanga is now, and that is to be that next Puerto Rican superstar to fill the shoes of Miguel Cotto. You see what I'm saying? So he was knocking everybody out in 2015, and then you know, he had some problems outside the ring. He had the motorcycle accident. He was turning in some bad performances against like hairdressers and William Silva on Telemundo and HBO. You know, he was really on the fast track to do some great things. And then the Antonio Lozada fight happened. He had his rise and he had his very quick fall. And people wanted to just chew him up and spit him out and say he wasn't going to be anything in boxing. But this is why you never write a fighter off, especially when they're young, when they take a loss. Because now, look at Verdejo. Verdejo's gotten with the very underrated coach, one of the most understated but valuable coaches in the sport of boxing, Ismael Salas. Ismael Salas has been an amazing revelation for this man's career because he's taken what Verdejo does great, which is punching in bunches and whatnot, and he's added a base to that, a foundation, fundamentals. And over the last 3 fights under Salas, we're beginning to see the Verdejo that we thought we would see in 2016 and 2017 and 2018, and it looks like he's becoming one of these fighters that could potentially be a dark horse at 135. So now I look at this fight with Nakatani as a straight sink or swim fight for Verdejo. This is a sink or swim fight for Verdejo. You know, they're taking the Verdejo and they're throwing him in that water over there, and he's got to sink or swim. He's got to sink or swim at the 135 in the lightweight division. You see what I'm saying? Nakatani is not going to be an easy fight for Verdejo. Nakatani isn't going to be a pushover for Verdejo. Nakatani is going to, you know, if Verdejo isn't his best in this fight, Nakatani will take Verdejo to some deep, dark, and uncomfortable places that he's already been to, and he'll make him look foolish. But on the contrary, we got Teofimo Lopez, right? Teofimo Lopez is the man at 135, and rightfully so. He beat Lomachenko in a fashion that many people were not predicting him to do so. He outboxed him, you see? But when Lopez fought Nakatani, it wasn't his best performance. It wasn't the Lopez that we were accustomed to seeing when he was coming up at 135 against the likes of Mason Menard, against the likes of Diego Magdaleno. He really looked like trash in that Nakatani fight. I thought he won clearly, but he didn't look like the takeover in that fight. So if Verdejo could go in there against Nakatani, a guy that made the man at 135 look foolish, if he goes in there and he obliterates him, if he gets him out of there, if he folds him up like a blue steel chair like The Rock, like Chris Jericho, like the Hardy Boys, like the Dudley Boys, if he does that, that's a big statement for him at 135. And it's going to answer a lot of questions, and it should raise some eyebrows from the boxing fans who have been questioning him because, okay, it's one thing to beat some of these other guys. It's one thing to beat, you know, Will Madera, who's a solid fighter. But to beat a Nakatani in sensational fashion at this juncture, at this point in time, on December the 12th, would be a great statement from Verdejo. It would honestly be like, look, it would be like him finally fully sticking that flag in the ground and saying, hey, guys, I'm back, and I'm a major player in this division. You see, so I'm looking forward to seeing if Verdejo can rise to the occasion and not just beat Nakatani, but beat him in sensational fashion. Because if he does that, that means that he is, you know, taking his proverbial flag and stuck it fully in the ground and saying, I'm back at 135. I'm a player in this division. I'm going to be somebody to be reckoned with. You know, I'm going to be somebody to be reckoned with. And I think it would also be a big confidence boost for him. We do know that Top Rank in the past, even before Lopez was champion, even before Lopez was a champion, I'm talking about before he was even IBF champion, before he beat Comey, even before he even had a belt against Comey, Top Rank was talking about making a Felix Verdejo Teofimo Lopez fight last year. You can go Google it. All right, go on my channel and go look at the video. Go look at the video I made about it last year. It is something that's being talked about. Lopez has a lot of options, and I feel like if Verdejo is able to come out of this in sensational fashion, this is a fight that I believe Top Rank, if there is any sort of plans to try to keep Lopez at 135, I know a lot of people call for the Devin Haney fight, and personally for me, I think the Devin Haney fight would be a I feel like in terms of the priority, Devin Haney should take priority over Verdejo. But I wouldn't hate on this fight if Verdejo, if and only if, so take the time to listen, you know, digest what I'm saying. If and only if Verdejo can come out of this fight with Nakatani, beat him in sensational fashion, that's, to me, that's what would warrant a Lopez fight. If he goes in there and he just kind of has like a Teofimo Lopez-esque performance and doesn't look sensational against him, then I'll have a problem with it. Because yes, he won. Yes, it's a good feather in his cap. But to come from where Verdejo has come from, to have that loss that he had in his record a couple years ago, and then fight Nakatani, this is a guy that people are going to look at as his true first step up in the weight class since he lost. His first real step up. So he's going to need to do a bit more because the perception of him is a bit lower than it was for Lopez when Lopez fought Nakatani. When Lopez fought Nakatani, he was a hot prospect, knocking everybody out, you know, looking sensational. And Nakatani at that time, at that particular time, was a unknown fighter in America. Nobody knew who the hell Nakatani was. Now we know who he is. We know who Nakatani is, and we know he can fight, and we know that he's got the range, he's got boxing skills, he's got all the tools in the world to give Verdejo a tough fight like he did with Lopez. So the onus is going to be on Verdejo to really turn in a blinder of a performance, and if he can do that, then I think that he's going to be potentially in line for getting a Lopez fight. Make of that what you will, but I'm just telling you guys what will happen if he does beat Nakatani in sensational fashion, because of the fact that this is already a fight that's been discussed by Top Rank, dating all the way back to the early parts of last year, to the first quarter of last year. Okay, so that's the news. Felix Verdejo returns in action, you know, against Masayoshi Nakatani from Japan. Tough fighter, respectable fighter, game fighter, formidable fighter. It's going to be a test for Verdejo, who's coming in on a 3-fight win streak. So shout out to Felix Verdejo. I hope he can go in there and turn in a great performance, because I think, you know, he's a hell of a fighter. And I think somewhere in there is a very high quality fighter, and I've been getting very upset about how boxing fans have been writing him off for a long time. And you know, he's another example of why sometimes, you know, I understand why fighters duck fighters, or why fighters are hesitant to take any sort of risks in their career, because honestly, Verdejo, he's a hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter, and we know he has a pedigree. We know he has a talent. It's just a matter of, can you put it together? And we're going to get that question answered again December the 12th. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.